All right, so looking at the date, you can see it's the 6th, I think 6th of January, beginning of January. And we actually got a little break in the weather. And it's decent out. It's mid 40s, which for January is decent. So I'm in the garage tinkering on this Horizon. And I'm on the fence. We'll get into what this video is for here in a minute. But I'm on the fence of whether or not I want to just say screw it, part it, and be done with it. When I got this car, I looked at it fairly close, or quickly, sorry, not closely. And now that I'm underneath it, the driver's floor has got some rust. We know the left rear rock or quarter panel has some rust. It needs all new brake lines, which they're already done for the most part. The left front needs done. They didn't get to that. But I put new hoses on it, new wheel cylinders on it. And I've got new hoses for the front, and I'm in the process of putting those on, but I'm on the fence. I'm not a restoration guy. I'm a parts guy. So the car's still decent enough to put back on the road, but at the end of the day, what's it worth? So we'll cross that bridge at a later time. Meanwhile, what's this video about? So let's say you're new to the turbo cars or any of the front-wheel drive Chryslers from the 80s and early 90s. And I see this post, not all the time, but often enough to go over what I'm going to say. And while I bought this car, what's some of the first things I should do? Well, let's assume that the car runs and drives and you're just looking to do some preventive maintenance on the car. My suggestion is we're going to change I'm going to try to show you. This is a non-turbo car, but the principle is going to be the same. Turbo car is just going to be a little bit of a different design. And you'll see that if you have a turbo car when you raise the hood and whatnot. So, a turbo car, you see these two rubber lines. A turbo car, they're going to be close. Actually, they're right here. They're going to be right here. Okay. Turbo car is going to have the same similar design. It's just going to be in a little bit different location. Replace these two rubber hoses. Start with one, replace it. Start with the second, replace it. Use fuel injection line, high pressure fuel injection line and high pressure fuel injection clamps. These are not your typical slotted hose clamps. These are a solid metal clamp. Number one, I got into an argument or a discussion, argument if you wish, however you want to call it, a spade's a spade. Got into the discussion with somebody that was saying, oh, those fuel lines, they're not preventive maintenance. Well, if you know anything about these cars, especially the turbo cars, it is, in my opinion, and several other those in the know on these cars. And the reason that it is because if you look where that sits, it's on the back of the firewall, right? Here's the firewall. Now, picture a turbo car. This is a little, obviously, different style, but what sits right below there? That's the turbo. And the turbo gets very, very hot. Well, if you have if you spring a leak in one of those lines, or you have one of those lines rupture or whatever, that pump does not know that, hey, there's a leak, we need to shut down. The pump will continue to run. So all of that gas is going to be spraying onto the turbo or in that general area. Well, a hot turbo and gasoline don't go very well together. They have a tendency to create fires. And I have seen through the years numerous of these little cars burned up under the hood with an engine fire, and I'm willing to bet you the largest majority of those are because one of those two lines ruptured, causing the fire. It wasn't because of bad wiring or something like that. I mean, it's possible. You know, I'm sure there are those that did have bad wiring at one point in time and that created a fire. But the majority that I've seen, my knowledge, my experience has been those fuel lines rupture, causing the fire. First and foremost, change those lines. And then if you get up, difficult to see, I don't have my light over here, I should have. But you're going to see the fuel filter. The fuel filter is under the passenger side in front of the rear axle. It's held in with, I think it's one 13mm bolt, and the filter will come down. Replace those two lines and the filter while you're there. It's cheap and it's easy considering. Just do it. Again, same as the underhood fuel lines. Yes, if one of those lines breaks, it's not going to cause a fire, but it's probably going to strand you alongside the road. Now you got a tow bill. And replacing them now with the proper hose and proper clamps, again, high pressure stuff, is going to save you a headache of dealing with having to have your car towed and that whole nightmare. Timing belts, the 2.2 and 2.5 are non-interference engines. Means if a timing belt breaks, the valves will not crash into the pistons. They have been broken and replaced on several cars through the years. So I wouldn't be as worried as much about the timing belt unless you're energetic, because that is a little bit more of a process. You have to remove the inner splash shield on the passenger side. You have to remove the lower radiator. Some say you don't. I do. Remove the lower radiator hose, remove the water pump housing, and all the pulleys, the covers, the passenger side mount needs to be come up because the belt slides underneath it. So there's steps involved in that, and it can be done. Anybody that's decent with tools and has a basic knowledge can do it. It's a time consuming process. I've heard people talk like they can do it in an hour. I'm sure they can. If you've done enough of these, you can do them fairly quickly. But for somebody that's just getting into this and just getting started, it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a process. So, me personally, back to the timing belt. If I'm changing the timing belt, well, that means I have to remove the AC belt, the power steering belt, and the alternator belt. I'm going to put new ones on. Preventive maintenance, they're already off. Unless they're new already, they're already off. To me, it's foolish to put parts back on that are used. That's just my personal preference. You do what you want. The power steering pump's a little bit more of a bear to get just because it's on the back side of the engine. It's doable, but it's a little bit more challenging to get. And to get the power steering belt, you have to remove the AC belt and the alternator belt because it sits on the very inner rib on the pulley, on the crank. So if you're going to do a timing belt, new drive belts as well. Water pump is belt driven. They're not timing belt driven. The reason a lot of times you have to take the water pump housing off is for clearance, to get the belt and the tensioner and all that in there. The tricky part I wish I had one laying here, but I don't. The tricky part on the water pump bolts that hold the water pump to the housing are they like to snap off. You've got a metal bolt going into an aluminum housing, and with time and age, metal and aluminum do not go well together, and they have a tendency to corrode. So when you're removing the water pump bolts, take your time, spray them down if you can. But I would replace the water pump and the gaskets and all of that for that, and put that back together when you do the timing belt. It's already part of the process pretty much. And again, it's just easier to do it while it's apart. And then you go to your belts or your hoses. The problem we're starting to find on these cars is finding hoses. Certain ones of these cars, like an intercooled car, especially if you have a GLHS, Charger, or Omni, I believe it's the lower hose is almost non-existent. Hopefully, somehow, some way, somebody's able, maybe us, whatever, somebody somewhere in the community is able to get a vendor or a manufacturer to reproduce those. As of making this video, that hasn't happened. So those are the basic maintenance items, other than a tune-up, plugs, wires, cap, and rotor. The distributor cap on these, again, I don't have. The distributor cap on these is normally, there's a water splash shield that covers it And if you pull this off, your distributor cap is going to be below there. I'll show you one. I've got this 2.5 here. So there's your cap. And again, you're going to find that there's a screw here and a screw here that holds that splash shield on. And then you got one screw on each side for the cap itself. Those also have a tendency to want to strip off or snap. So when you're doing those, keep that in mind. Again, it's an aluminum distributor housing with metal screws going into it. And like the water pump housing, they don't mix well together, especially in northern climates, like with us, with the salt and all that. I'm not sure about like California or Florida or Texas. You know, I'm not sure what that stuff's like down there. But for us up here, it can be a fight. So when you get the new plugs and wires, cap and rotor, you're going to notice, let's see if I can find a place. I can sit this down and focus. You're going to notice this is the part of the wire that goes into the cap. And it's hard to see it, but you got little prongs on each side. And those prongs snap down into the distributor cap. So when you're putting the new plug wires into the cap, you want to make sure you hear a click. And once they click, give them a little tug, not too hard, just a little tug to make sure they're seated. The click should be the sign, but just to be safe, give them a little tug just to verify that it's locked in place. And the firing order is 1342. Yeah, that's right, 1342. So anyways, replace the cap, the wire, plugs, and the rotor. Do all of that if you feel the need. Sensors on these cars. Again, it's getting difficult to find some of these sensors. And again, it depends on the car. But some of the sensors are getting harder to find, but they're not really a maintenance item. These are the things that you should look at once you first get it, and you want to start enjoying it. I personally, so like I had mentioned in the beginning of this video, the brake hoses on this particular Horizon, since the brake lines need replaced, I'm going to go ahead and replace the rubber hoses because, you know, we don't have no history on this car at all. So are they good? And it's easier just to go ahead and change them now and be done. It's one less headache because you already have to bleed the system. So it's just better to just do it while you have it completely apart. So I wouldn't really consider replacing the brake hoses unless you have an issue where you got a brake hanging up or one that's not working properly. Then obviously, if you're going to replace one, replace all four. You have two on the rear and one on the left and one on the front. I would check, you know, the air filter while you have it apart. If it's not dirty, then don't worry about it. If it is, replace it. Wiper bushings on these cars are known to go bad. It's a little plastic. If you look, I have another video of that, of doing these. But it's trying to locate my stash. I've got a whole stash of them somewhere. But it looks like these. This is the center one that goes on the pin. You'll have one of those. And then, where's my caps? Well, anyways, somewhere over here I've got caps, but I don't know where they're at. They're kind of, this is a hot mess. But anyway, you've got caps. That's what these are. They snap in the arm. Oh, here they are, right here. Right here. This is your caps. So it's only got a hole on the one side, and that snaps into the linkage, and then that snaps onto the arm, the pivot. That would be, it slides onto that piece. So this goes like that. The one with the hole goes in between these two here. It goes on this arm, on this linkage, slides over this post, and then this one here's got a cap. It snaps on. Again, I've got a whole video on how to do those. If you're not planning on driving in the rain, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you're planning on driving in the rain, keep in mind if one of those caps breaks because they get brittle because they're plastic, if one of those caps breaks, your wipers aren't going to work as they should. And then you got to take it apart to replace them. I've had luck replacing them without heating them up, but I've also seen where people recommend heating them up like in hot water. It softens them up. It's easier in the summer than it is in the winter because of the temperature, but I would probably recommend warming them up and then a little tiny dab of white lithium grease to help lubricate them. That's about it. Honestly, these cars are actually really simple. The fuel hoses are the biggest thing that I would worry about, especially the ones under the hood. That is, if you have a turbo car, to me, that is first and foremost the first thing that I would change on any of these cars that we get in. My LeBaron has had it, the Shadow has had it, and my stepson's Daytona has had them all done within the last couple of years. And, you know, they don't get driven enough. But again, they dry out. It's rubber. It dries out over time. So probably in another year or two, 3 years, I'll probably go ahead and change at least the ones under the hood. Is that excessive? Probably. But I would rather err on the side of caution. And this is the kind of hose you're going to get. But it's supposed to be, of course, made in China, which everything is. 3/8 and 5/16. But it's supposed to be, high pressure with high pressure clamps. But anyways, hopefully this helps you out. I know I babble a lot. I apologize if you've watched any of my videos. You should see that by now. If you're new, welcome. We specialize in parts for these cars. We try to chase down parts cars and parts hordes and whatnot. And we sell most of our stuff on eBay. For inventory purposes, it's just easier for us. And when I say us, it's my wife and I, and I'm the one that does the work. Most of the labor, she keeps our books and keeps our records. So she's involved 100%, and she supports me. So I appreciate that. But anyways, that's what I'd look at. If you're new into these and you just got one, or you're looking to get one, and you were looking for some things to preventive maintenance type stuff to do on these cars. So I wish you luck. Reach out to us if you need anything. Look us up on eBay under the same name, Forgotten Dailies LLC. And follow us on here, because everything we get in goes here first. And yeah, let us know. We'll do what we can to help you find what you're looking for. I appreciate you watching. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you on the next one.